Hello techies. Welcome to our brand new video series focused on helping you get the most of your experiences in life. Before we start the video, let's know about Upptalk. Upptalk is a live, interactive platform for software training, furnishing robust personalities who could take on universal business platforms.
Now let's go ahead and make changes to our existing business process. So how do we do that? How do we search for our existing business process? A view, security for securable items. That is for security. I'm just looking for the business process definition. The sequence of steps that needs to happen. So I'm looking for the higher business process associated with my XYZ Motors. Any ideas? You did that when you did your assignment 3. You searched for the existing business process. How did you do that? Business process : BP : that is a prefix. BP : then higher. Higher for what? WWXYZ Motors. Yes, you see higher for 1001 WWXYZ Motors. This is a business process definition. Right, you see how easily we could navigate to that. Right, one more time. So you type the prefix as BP, because that will filter out the results to only the business process definitions. Okay, and then you type the business process and start typing about the organization name. In that way, it will straight away filter out the business process definition that you are looking for. Okay, I will click on that, and I will be taken to the business process definition. Okay, any other way of doing it? I showed you like 2 weeks ago, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, we were doing something and I showed you. I want to see if you remember. Let me click on the supervisory organization. Let's say, if I am at the supervisory organization level. From here, can I go to my higher business process definition? Yeah, related actions. Business process. Business process. Business process. Definition for business object. Absolutely business process. Definitions for business object. This is the place where you would navigate to if you want to find out the existing business process definitions associated with this particular organization, or with this particular object for that matter. Okay, so click on that, and it will give you a list. Okay, with effective date of, let's say today. I am choosing the effective date of today, and click OK. So it is showing you the business process definitions as of today's effective date. So now you see that there are a lot of definitions which are saying default definition. Right, default definition. So what does that mean? You see, assess candidate is default definition. Assign matrix organization is a default definition. Assign roles is a default definition. Right, this is important. Assign roles. It says, default definition. What is it all about? What is the default definition? I think it comes with about the same. Okay, all right. Yes, you are in the right direction. So what? Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about this. So when we start configuring the tenant, whenever we start a new implementation, a fresh tenant is there. So we have to start everything from scratch, right? So it takes a lot of time if you have to create each and every single thing from scratch. So what Workday does is, it gives you something called as WD Setup. Okay, WD Setup. Make a note of these things, because these are important interview topics. So WD Setup. A WD setup is a set of or maybe I should say some basic and commonly used configurations. Okay, so mostly it has to do with some custom reports. Okay, some calculated fields right. And business process definition security groups. Okay, and security policy permissions. There are some other things as well, but these are the ones that we are to be aware. There are some custom reports, some calculated fields, business process definitions, security groups, security policy permissions are given to you as a starting point, right? In most cases, they are very, very realistic, because this WD setup is created by Workday based on the experience that they have gained from implementing across thousands of partners, right? Across thousands of not partners, thousands of customers. So they have gained the insight, and they keep updating the WD setup periodically, right? With every month, every 6 months. They will keep updating it, keep adding, updating, modifying things in the WD setup. WD setup can be installed in the tenant from Customer Central. Okay, there is something called as Customer Central. It's a separate tenant. That is the master tenant that you will use to control all the other tenants that the customer has subscribed to. Okay, so the customer may have subscribed to 4 different tenants, let's say, one implementation, a sandbox, preview, a sandbox and the production tenant. 4 tenants. So Workday will give you another tenant that is free of cost and is included in the subscription. It is called Customer Central. In Customer Central, you have the ability to manage your subscriptions. You have the ability to manage your rest of the tenants, right? So in this from Customer Central there is this option where you can install WD Setup in an implementation tenant, right? WD Setup is implemented in the, or installed or configured. I should say configured in the implementation tenant. Remember that this will only be a starting point, right? This is not to be used in production. We are going to use that as a starting point, and then we will configure the Workday system as per the customer's requirements, then move it to Sandbox and Sandbox Preview and maybe production, right? But WD Setup is a set of basic and commonly used configurations in terms of business process definitions, security groups, security policy permissions. Okay, now when we install these configurations in WD and a tenant, you will see the business process definitions. Okay. It is not like always. It will have just one step, that only the initiation. No, it will have a very realistic kind of steps with the security groups assigned to each of those business process definitions. Right? Who all can initiate, who all can configure, so that a lot of work and time is saved before we actually start doing our customizations right. So WD setup is very, very important. That's why most organizations will start with WD setup. Okay. So, as a result, when we look at our business process definitions, let's say this, one assigned pay group or no, let's look at, this is the background check, default definition. Let's open it up and see what all is there in the background. Check business process definition. I hope there are some steps. Let's see. Otherwise, we will use some of the uncommon ones just to make sure that they have some steps. Okay, there are no steps. How is it possible? Okay, let me close this. Oh yeah, here it is. So you see, there are at least 3 steps. Okay. There are 3 steps. One is initiated as a standalone process, and then it goes for approval.
Please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more information, contact us at sales@upptalk.com.